All right, folks, we are back. We are back, and the market just closed here. We have Google surging out of the gates already. Earnings should be reporting in 3 minutes here. We are going to focus right on this Google 1 minute chart for now. So, guys, this is going to be the biggest of the reports, this Google here, but it's not the only one. We do have um, Qualcomm and ARM as well. So some implications on the chip sides of things. In terms of Google, the narrative is going to be: can we see this capital expenditure, this capex in AI, start to keep or continue to print for them? They've been the best at monetizing this spend so far, and we want to see if that reward or if the market will continue to reward them for it. So welcome, welcome, welcome on in, guys. Hey, Talk, good to see you. Good to see you. So Talk, sorry. Well, I guess I can address this to you. So, Talk, how are you feeling about Google in particular? Do you like it here? I think that it still is one of my favorite mega caps. I'm not worried about my long term position, and I just want to kind of see how the narrative unfolds this quarter. But in general, liking what I'm seeing on the charts for the most part, and thinking that this is a good one to be in. So, all right, 2 minutes till expected earnings. Already seeing a big push up. I'm going to make sure that we haven't released early here.
Oh, and she's off to the races. Yeah, I don't know if that's even like misprinting because it's coming back on down. Yeah, now it's all the way back up to 340s here. What's up, Mr. Steve? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing, brother?
Hey, 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 good to see you, man. Doing all right. In for a roller coaster here. So, Google, we have the yi, now here's the ha. So, we always see this kind of move where you give everybody one last out. And I got to say, this is bearish now. When you give us the wick back right into the mitigation, where in the morning, that's where we initially sold off from. You get anybody who was stuck out, and now we're pushing on down. I don't like this, I got to say. So, numbers still, I'm not seeing the numbers even coming out
Nope.
yet, but the market's definitely acting like it's already
Same
here.
with QCOM. QCOM, same thing. QCOM down actually more than I anticipated. Actually now down 10 points already.
Wow.
Arm down 10 points. And again, see, it's not seeing numbers here. But wow, we are rolling to the bottom side. And yeah, Arm down 10 points. QCOM now 12 points down. We are, and now look at this, like you talked about, and I notice this so often when you watch this. Steve already talked about it. That quick move up, that's their last chance. If you have shares out, what you better get out now. You better get out now because holy moly! And I love that when I'm going short. Y'all see that a lot of the time when I'm going short on small cap, Steve. You'll see that kind of liquidation sweep up, and then as soon as I see that huge red wick, I'm like, yes, we're about to bank on the short side because
Oh yeah.
oh wow, here. This is my max level. I had it down to around 315. This is a dumperoonie, my friend. This is almost like meta. Here we go again. You mean you get to do this one more time, and we get the huge mega movers here.
Yeah, we get the spicy ones for sure. So I'm fishing for numbers here. It looks like all right. Search and other revenue came in at 63 billion, estimated 61 billion. So a little bit of a beat on the search. I think that's about I think I saw somewhere 17% up year on year. We have ads revenue at 11.38 billion, estimated 11.78 billion. Okay, so a little bit under there on the ads rev. Let's see, looks like Google Services rev 95.86 billion versus 94.9 billion. Slight beat there. What are we seeing on the stock? Just straight on down. We have not found a buyer yet. It looks to me like we're headed for this 300 level. Josh, I'm going to keep fishing for more numbers here, but it's a bloodbath here so far. Just nothing but downward pressure across the board.
Yeah.
Interesting to see SPY isn't reacting too aggressively quite yet. I mean, it's not as bad of a sell as I kind of was thinking off of this. So that's a little bit of a little bit of a ray of sunshine there, but doesn't feel good if you are taking some bets long on earnings here.
Oh
We're
yeah.
down about 5% now, by the way.
Big red across the board. Yeah, QCOM, ARM, Google here. Death. Here comes here. Now I'm getting it. Now we're getting numbers here. Here we go. So I'm finally getting them on TOS. It says Alphabet Q4 EPS 2.8, 2.82 beats the estimate, which is 2.63. Sales 113.82 billion beats the 111.3 billion estimate. So actually, what I'm seeing here, which you can fish more into this, I haven't really ever read too far into numbers, but this
Hmm.
all says positive news here from Google is all I'm seeing.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We saw a similar thing with AMD. I think these numbers do seem better than AMD's, but regardless, we are seeing really high expectations and names getting taken out to the woodshed if they are not exceeding what seem to be expectations, which are unattainable at this point. I mean, if we're having double beats and seeing 5% moves to mega caps, kind of got to tell you a little bit of something about the risk appetite for the market here.
Yeah, bro.
So
Nasty.
something to consider. We are finding some buyers on the Google here. On the Goog, we are at the 1 minute chart. I'll zoom in here for us. Potential V shape in action, but really we are just seeing a 50% retrace, and we gotta prove ourselves from this point. So coming right on into that 50%, this 326, that's an area I want to see us actually be able to flip above. As you can see, that is where the sellers are stepping in. So nothing too definitive yet. You do like to see just some fight in the bulls though, because man, when when you just get hammered like this and you're not sure where the bottom is, it can be spooky. But once you kind of put in that bottom and kind of define the risk, you can get a lot of more market participants involved where they're saying, okay, now I know what the worst case is for this trade. Now I can kind of frame this and potentially step in and absorb some of that selling, like we are seeing through the 50%. So interesting look here for Google. Maybe not the end of the world after all. I wonder what made the algorithms freak out there. That's
That is,
always
yeah, because just see the soak all the way back up to the 230 mark essentially, and as quickly as that happened. And I've seen this own earnings in the past, and then you just sit back for the next we do for the next hour, and it chops around from 333 to 325 or three. It finally finds its range, so to speak.
yeah.
And we do all that algorithm up and down from 340s or whatever it hit to the 308, and then just to all come right back like nothing ever happened. I feel like
Yeah. And I love that you said that. It's like nothing ever happened, right? It feels like another one of those violently flat type moves where what are we really talking about if we're seeing a move up that gets mitigated? I'll go back to the chart here. A move up that gets mitigated like that into a move down
Yeah,
that seems to get mitigated. Well, we're kind of resetting the tape, right? We're getting a chance for bulls to get out of dodge, break even up here, right back into the neckline. Then you're allowing them to get back in much cheaper. And if they're for real, then they're essentially just getting a nice discount on their longer term position. So Talks mentioning something that essentially, I think what he's saying is that he was seeing short term puts and long term buying on Google, which would make sense here. Maybe they're expecting a little bit of this pressure, like as you can see, clearly there was sell pressure, but long term it seems like this is getting absorbed. And I don't know, I'm not too worried about the long term prospects of Google, but just this short term kind of clearing of the tape up and then down makes me feel like, okay, now this thing is primed to do whatever it wants to do, and it seems like it wants to push higher. This is a beautiful reclaim. We're on a 5 minute chart, but on the 1 minute, it'll be even prettier. Look at this powerful buying just surging through. And you can see the highest volume there on the crescendo, on the sell crescendo. And ever since then, just nothing but net pushing higher. So this is looking like a classic red to green reaction. And we can see how far up we can go now, I think.
yeah. I don't feel like I'm watching a small cap play here, bro.
A lot of these types of yeehaws where they shake the tree.
I mean, yeah, it's cool to see. I go back and forth like yourself, 1 to 3 to 15, kind of, and just to see this, and yeah, it's you get that tail of the tape essentially when you go to that 1 minute. You kind of zoom in, like I said, it's like a magnifying scope where you have your different lenses of zooming in,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's cool to see that to have the different time frames pulled up here and to see this action. Definitely still staying red though. I will obviously say I think we're going to stay that way with ARM, and it appears like QCOM are going to stay red. I would
Yeah.
imagine you get that soak back up like we're getting on Google. You don't get it, and then in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, you stay in your direction. That's why I'll tell a lot of traders out the years like, how do I trade earning? I'm like, well, if you get continuation move, that's your key. You're looking for something to find its first 10, 15-minute candle, and then you can expect maybe more movement in that direction, or at least staying down there versus you try to trade that opening move like Google just showed you. Boy, you can be whipsaw. It's like riding the roller coaster of your nightmares.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no fun at all, especially when you maybe are having trouble getting in and out as easily as you might be in a cash session, with those potentially wider spreads,
Right.
potentially just shaking around all over the place. It can be an unfun trading experience, and I tend to try to keep my earnings plays pretty textbook, and by that I mean just the only way that I've been able to do it consistently and make money is if I have a long term support level or resistance level, and I just have my order my orders in there already, either to bottom feed some stock that I really like that maybe is going to get punished this earnings and come down to a key support level, or a stock that I'm already in that I'm just trying to take profit in on
Right.
any kind of pop with that influx of liquidity. So besides that, I just really look at them as kind of like a speed booster in Mario Kart. Like it's like an
Yes.
influx of liquidity is coming. So if I'm in this, well, then maybe I get to get an exit that I would have normally gotten in a week or a month or couple months. But now it's going to just speed run that. And the same thing to the downside. If I'm saying, all right, I think that I want to get into this name, but maybe it needs to wash out first. Well, maybe instead of taking 3 weeks to get down there, it can just do it in bada bing, bada boom one afternoon,
Right.
So that's kind of the way that I'm looking at earnings, just kind of taking advantage of that volatility by having a plan. Besides that, I try to keep my hands and feet inside the vehicle and not get too cute with it and potentially get hurt.
Right. Who doesn't love a bada bing, bada boom? I mean, come on.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I know. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, and well, now Snap. I haven't seen still numbers out for Snap.
Oh yeah.
And but they are popping, up a little bit. I just just watching different tickers here, that are coming out today. So, but it does say announces fourth quarter statistics. Okay, here we go. Fourth quarter increased 10% year over year to 1.7 million. Let's see, fourth quarter gross margin up 59%, not bad, or is up 59%, so it's up 4%. See, cash flow was 270 million, free cash flow 206 million, net income of 45 million. So at least it made money in the past quarter, not bad. So numbers out there for Snap. It's not a big mover anymore. It used to move a little bit more. I can't remember. I would imagine it's had price splits throughout the years. I think because if I'm not mistaken, this play used to be worth a lot more back in the day.
Oh yeah.
But it's just one of those tickers. It's just some people like looking at it, so I'm just kind of keeping my eye on it. For after hours and small caps, boy, it has been relatively slow, and we finally have hit that wall for any traders that do trade small caps, because I know those here on Trade the Pool do, like myself. Earnings season full swing. This is typically what happens a lot of the time for small caps. So you have times where small caps still run on their own clock, and you see some crazy spikes in small caps during earnings seasons. But this is that typical. It's earnings season, and there's not a lot going on in after hours for small caps.
Yeah. Yeah. The money's got to go somewhere, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Always money. It's got to keep moving in a circle. So today it's Google's time to shine. We are seeing that volume, just continue to be pretty decent sized here. You can see that after hours, the volume is not substantially falling off from the cash session, and that's definitely a situation specific to earnings here. So we're coming back to the moving averages after popping them nicely. We can see if we can curl on over. ARM trying to get a little bit of a move off the bottom. It probably was trading a little cheap under the 95, trading down from the 104.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at the expected move, but I figure it probably was around 10% or so. So probably just coming back in from the bumper rails there. Whenever you have an expected move, it is, calculated by these options that are being sold. And, you can kind of expect where they're going to hedge to, where that pressure is going to kind of fade off of. And you'll often find kind of passive market maker buying. For example, if we saw a big concentration of volume on those 95 strikes, maybe when it's getting under there, it kind of gravitates back up to there. QCOM, on the other hand, just nothing doing, cannot get off the mat. We have 5-minute candles here, just posting two ugly top wicks, and looking like it probably wants to show continuation down. If not today, then in the next session. And sometimes you'll see a decent bounce up before actually following through with the earnings move, like on AMD, for example. After hours there, we saw a decent bounce before really just smashing down.
Yeah.
It wasn't that decent, I guess, now that I look at it again. But
I was gonna say you're right though. Hold on, I just saw this. Is this JavVD talking to me? I have to say it. You've always reminded me of a Bad Bunny lookalike. Is it me or Steve? Which one looks like Bad Bunny?
I don't even know. It's got to be you, right?
I guess. I mean, Bad Bunny doesn't have long hair, but yeah, I was like, I guess it's got to be me. He's performing at the Super Bowl this year. Like, hey, I'll take it.
That's a good compliment. Yeah, it can't be me. So ARM, we are seeing.
Yeah, you're Steve the Achieve. Come on now, let's not talk down about yourself.
All right. I've got my own sex appeal, but I don't know if it's Bad Bunny. He's got his own thing going. So, ARM, I am really impressed by this pushback
Yeah,
to this 100 handle. So that's going to be the real test of the tape there. So I want to see what it can do into that key level. It's really interesting seeing that apparently under 100 is still a buy zone on ARM. So I wonder if this is a long-term inflection point. I'm going to pull up a weekly chart here real quick because this thing is an interesting trader. It's just been range bound for so long,
yeah,
and every time it is trading under this 100, buyers step in and force, within a few days or at least a few weeks.
yeah.
So we were seeing some kind of back and forth mixed tape action in the past month or two, trading down into this, getting more volume built up here. So if it can wash out and reclaim, it could be the start of something new here. But man, I think that we still got to break some of these heavy downtrends that we're facing. So maybe that would look like a move over 110 to at least to get this party started, but really over this high volume at 115. So again, there's a lot of names like right now in the market that just kind of gotta throw them in the watch list, and hopefully they set up for you coming up. But I don't know if I'm ready to take a trade on ARM, for example, or really much anything. So QCOM, we are seeing that extension downwards after that heaviness for the past 10 minutes is breaking into new lows here. So if you were short QCOM, congratulations. This thing, as
Yeah.
mentioned,
That
just
had
a
the best fit. I was like, that had the best 15-minute candle. The rest of these, let's always look at the 15, and that arm soaked all the way back up. Because at first it was staying down there, but it just come all the way back up to 97, and it closed around there on the 15. QCOM stayed down, and that's kind of one of those it's down, stays down, continues down type of momentums. Like I said, if you're going to trade some earnings, the rest of I say the rest, but arm, yeah, that's this one. It's interesting, to see that move back on up. Like I said, Google's doing exactly what I figured it would probably do when it did that move back to 330. It's going to just
yeah.
range bound now, 225, 335, something like that. I bet. ARM looks like it has potential to make moves continuously now because of where it's at. Like you're saying now, it just fell off 100. QCOM through new lows. And to me, this is a bigger move than I anticipated for
Yeah.
QCOM too. Like you said, there are a lot of the time they're factored in. I didn't factor this big of a move. So like kind of like Meta last week. I did not see that move on Meta for us last week. That was huge.
Yeah, no, QCOM had a expected move of 6.2%. So we are trading below that. Oh man, don't make me do math here. What is that? 150 to 134. It's going to be more than 6% there. So so
Yeah,
it def-
7.5, something like that, I think. I'm trying to do quick
sounds
math
about
in my
right.
head there.
So you're right. It was a bit ambitious of me to look for that red to green real surge up on Google, and that is the obvious place for them to cap it, right? Because that's where you'll need a lot more volume to get through that initial kind of push that set the high of the after hours range. So if it's just kind of range bound like this, it does make sense. I don't think it's too much of an indictment of the quality of the earnings or even the reaction to it. What we might be seeing is a potential higher low being put in over the next, hour or two as we go into the call, which I believe starts right when we head off, unfortunately, at the
Right.
flip of the hour there. But I will be back tomorrow, and we'll kind of recap those real quick, with just what the implications of the talk there, because Google's going to be important for sure, and Amazon tomorrow are going to be very important. So we got to stay tuned there. Like, not the most exciting response, but you know what? I think that's kind of what SPY needed to just feel okay about today. Like, it's a little bit of a washout there, coming back to where we traded before. I think that we're trying to hold the line. As you can see, this previous W that we were kind of looking for seems like it might have fulfilled after hours, getting that little push down. So hopefully we can move onwards and upwards here on the indices with a good earnings call on Google and a good earnings and beat and call for what's their face, Bezos and Jassy, Amazon. I'm going
Yes.
crazy. Forgot one of the biggest companies in the world.
What's that one with Bezos?
You know the one
You
that
the
makes the
one,
money.
yes.
So
Hermes, yeah. Solo got some people on my Discord. Yeah, Hermes, if you're listening out there, Herm, love the hat. This is one of my traders in chat sent me this hat, so I wear it like it's cool. Love it. It's a cool hat.
nice.
And let's see here. Yeah, Google. Yeah, there you go. GGL, and that's all you do. It's got some traders, of course, they want to trade these earnings on Trade the Pool. You have to trade the ETF. So find the ETFs of these tickers. Usually they will end in L. And yeah, go out there. You can Google and see. I think I said GGLL is Google's. I think I can't remember if is there another one out there for Gold Bear. Let's see here for Bull Bear 3 time. Let's see ETF. I don't ever trade ETFs that much, so I have to usually Google them and try to find them.
You're looking for Google down.
Yeah,
Let's see. GGLL is the long one. So GGLD is what I would think, but that's
D.
not.
Okay.
It's not. It's not what it is. I gotta pull it up. I'll find it for you in just a
Yeah.
second. Yeah, it's useful to know these leverage tickers for the mega caps because it can turn something that maybe isn't worth your time as a day trader into something that you can get a really nice kind of smooth trade on. Because these inverse ones, they have a lot of liquidity usually, so really not so bad on the mega caps.
So GOU, let's see, it says granted shares times 2 daily ETF. GOU is one for Google. GGLS is direct on daily. So we got GGLL and GGLS. GGLS, I think, is the other one.
So I'm not saying that we need yeah, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be some unity in these naming
Yes, I know.
conventions because it drives me crazy. What's this GOU? Come on, that's just like a different ticker at this point. I don't know what they're trying to tell me there.
Oh, and then for QCOM, it's QCMU and QCMD. So MU and MD for QCOM to end it as well. So the bull is MU, the bear is MD.
Yeah, and just be careful about these ones. Not a mega cap. These are not going to have good liquidity. I'm seeing like 800, 100, 200 shares traded every minute here. So make sure you're using limit orders. Do not be slapping market because you might get punished on these. And also make sure you're getting the right ticker because some of these, I remember trying to short Apple and ending up short leveraged APLD.
I was going to say, was it APLDL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is moving a lot faster than I thought it would. Something's wrong. I need to know.
Oh man, yeah. And I'd typically just stay to the ticker itself and just go smaller shares. Again, I get it if it's like a Meta or whatever, and it costs, or something that costs $500, $600, $700. I get it. You trying to find like Tesla makes sense because TSLL, the Teslas, they're very liquid. You can go trade them, kind of like what you're talking about. You got to be worried about that liquidation trap, so to speak, in the end, where you get into a play. I've done that when I first started, where that or especially small caps, you don't realize how big the spread is. So you go to get in and you're dummy and market order in and you're red immediately. And you're like, oh, whoa, what? I'm red.
Yeah, the old snakeskin Randy badge of honor, just taking a position instantly being down 2.4%. You're like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I guess this thing better work now.
You're yelling at the computer. So yeah, it's 100%. I love it.
That's no good. That's no good. Yeah, what is it? A good craftsman never blames his tools.
Yeah.
I say as I yell at my computer for the 10th time today. So,
Right. Yeah.
how
Oh man. Google, I did predict the closing price and I forgot to do what I even did. I wish view the leaderboard. Can we view the leaderboard now? That's from yesterday. Okay. I wonder when it updates. So, but the Puneet Nath, I gotta find Puneet Nath who won yesterday with AMD, the last one. He actually is in my stream. Like I haven't seen him yet, but yeah, I don't know if he's celebrating the W and he's just living life out today. But I forgot what I picked for Google. I think I know I did somewhere in the 330s, but I can't remember what I picked there.
All right, so you still got a fighting chance here. We're only $4 under that, and then it can oscillate around that range
Yeah.
pretty easily. I'm seeing the highest volume note at 333, right in the wheelhouse there. So yeah, I love that we're just doing more and more of these kind of contests and kind of engagement type stuff where we can just get more people involved in the community because it's just it makes me so happy every morning. I look in and I see more and more people in our chat rooms, in our voice chats. Be sure to check those out, guys, because the traders in there, they are no slouches. They're doing this professionally and they're just offering their advice for free for the most part. If you go in and you're nice, everybody wants to make a new trading friend. So come on in and join the party, guys. At Trade the Pool, we have a Discord channel. It's absolutely amazing, and it's a good place to be. I feel like we're assembling like an Avengers type team over the past couple months here. So good.
What I've been saying, yeah, that's what I've been saying, yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, literally, just watching yesterday's stream. Well, we already know who's the secret guy in the background of like forming the Avengers. Who's the guy with the patch on?
Yeah, that's our. Now I'm gonna put myself on blast because I don't know superheroes. Who's the puppet master? Who's pulling the strings? Whoever that is, that's Joe for us.
Yes. It's what's his name in the Avengers? Gosh, dang it. I forgot what his name is. It's Samuel L. Jackson, but yeah, I
Oh
forgot
yeah,
what his name is in the. What is his name, guys? I forgot his name. Nick Fury. Nick
wait,
Fury. It came to my head. Nick Fury.
doesn't
Nick.
he have an eye patch too?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, that's what I was jokingly
Okay,
saying.
you're making a reference, and I'm
That's
I'm over
why
here.
I was jokingly saying that because it's not really Michael Katz. We all think Michael Katz is the person that's actually the head of and the CEO of Trade the Pool, but secretly we didn't know that it actually is Joe. It's Florida Joe. It's Nick Fury. It's the man with the patch. That's actually the CEO and the leader of the event.
It's
Anyway,
all coming together. Michael Katz just has that presidential look. He's the front
yes,
man, you know. He's got the
yes,
yeah, he's I could see that. I could see that. Oh man.
I
Well,
love it.
whoever's putting it together.
Yeah, no, yeah. But I've said this, for the longest time, honestly, last few months or weeks. Yeah, it feels that way, kind of two ways because of course I was with another streaming service and Stream Live and built a following there. So then I kind of went out and did all my own in June and July, and I've said that about them because I got we're slowly but surely getting bigger, and there are certain traders that are really good, and you can see some that are getting better. And I said that, and then of course, then I like we talked about, got picked up in free agency, and now here I am with Trade the Pool, and we're doing this, and yeah, it feels like it's the same thing where we're slowly but surely, of course, me and Kevin have talked about that since we've been doing our Tuesday and Thursday together, since the summer, but definitely feels that way. And then slowly, making the stream, getting it longer, putting the scanners out there, now doing the earnings report. I mean, you and Florida Joe on Tuesday got almost, I think, like 2,000 or what I guess it was yesterday, when almost at 2,000 views. So it's
Wow.
where we're slowly but surely getting up there to where, of course, I'll watch these. I'll like randomly when it's slow in the small caps and maybe the large caps look ugly at the time. I'll go over to YouTube and just go through the live streams, like who's live and like all the people that are streaming, and I'll be like, how they have that many views, or how they have this many people watching. Who are these people? They're just sitting there yapping it up and not even actually talking about stocks. And so it's awesome. Yeah, that we're that growing, because a lot of them, like what I'll see, they're prop firms, but we're new and young. So I'm like, I can't imagine 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now when this prop firm's been around for much longer. And so it's awesome for sure. Yeah, definitely building some Avengers. I heard my name, Florida Joe. We're talking about Nick Fury and the fact that you wear a patch. There's a reason why you wear a patch, Florida Joe. You are the assembler, the assembly, or the symbol, or whatever of the Avengers. You're assembling them. Avengers assemble, or whatever. Okay, and that's the thing. Then who? Then we got to start picking out what Avenger are we? Are you going to be Iron Man? You Captain America? You Hulk? Or you Thor? Or
I think I'm the guy in Anchorman with the trident. You know, that's my speed. Just blow
Oh,
the
that's
ground up.
Brick. That's Brick. That's
Yeah,
Brick. Hey,
yeah.
hey, he's got powers.
I love Lamp. That whoever that is, that's my guy. Because
That's Brick.
I be loving Lamp. When he said that, I felt that. So
Then you'd be like, after the battle, you're like, I think I killed a guy. Like, yeah, we saw
hopefully,
that. We saw that.
hopefully not. But in some of these small cap trades, it feels like that when you just make away with such a killing. You're like, who is the other party in this? I'm so sorry, but
Yeah.
I'm noticing something interesting here on SPY. I guess we can talk markets for a second here. I'm noticing something interesting here on SPY. This is a 5-minute chart here, and I'm just showing this W pattern that's starting to get built out.
Yeah.
I like after hours how we've digested the volatility. We got our kind of push down and formed a valid bottoming structure here, hopefully on on this after hours, the geez, brain no worky on the volume here coming in from the earnings. So if we can get over this neckline here, over this 88.50 that we were watching into the close, I think that we are finally setting up for a nice potential bottoming push here after a bit of a slide, a bit of a couple day slide here. So could be what we've been looking for. I wonder if we're still maybe waiting for Amazon to just kind of put in the finishing touches on this bottoming structure here. But I'm just wondering if the Bears fumble it and can't get a big breakdown, we're just setting up for a bigger push up off of this multi-month base now at this point. So an interesting time to be watching these earnings for sure.
Yep. Big one tomorrow there. Amazon, love that play. Well, I just been in it for such a long time myself. So yeah, Amazon tomorrow. We got MSTR Reddit tomorrow. Roblox tomorrow too as well. So we got some big names tomorrow too to keep an eye after. And then what do we have? When is NVDA? Is that next week, or when's that big mega? That's be pretty much one of the last ones. One of the last
Yeah,
big ones.
I think a lot of names are like in this holding pattern. Even if they have earnings before Nvidia, until we see Nvidia, it still is kind of a gamble on these. So let's see. It is going to be The 25th. I was like,
They
man,
always put them deep. I was gonna say, watch it be like 2 weeks from now or something.
yeah, taking their sweet darn time here. So, we have a big period where we could see some chop. And I think Michael's been talking about this. I'm starting to come around to this view too, where I think it's just going to be a really choppy year for the indices, especially the first half year. So if we were expecting some easy money, I don't know if we're going to be getting that unless you are a Google long, because that is reclaiming the 330. Josh, your prediction is still on the table here.
I had a feeling I was going to do this. I just with the Google, just kind of looking at those numbers put in. I was like, and it's one of those ones where you get your AMD goes down to the level that I call out, and it stays down there. Then you have these that literally just like it said, like it's like nothing ever happened, and you have all this volatility, and then in the end, we're right back to where we came from. And so, like, dude, it's to me, it was either going down, we're going down and staying down, or we're gonna do one of these numbers.
Yeah.
I
I always think of these as kind of like, okay, well, it's whenever you're thinking in terms of options, there isn't just two potential winners. There's a third potential winner, and sometimes that is the theta gang. That is the option seller. So if the expected move ends up being smaller, or I'm sorry, if the actual move ends up being smaller than the expected move, then you just get to collect all that premium, and then the stock can kind of proceed with whatever direction it was going to go before it kind of got roped in and lassoed by this options action, so to speak. Because to me, this looks like a stock that wants to go up, and it's just kind of waiting for whatever it needs to happen to wait for to kind of digest and push higher. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Honestly,
sounds like with the reference from Snakeskin Randy, and you just said lasso. It sounds like someone wants to go Snakeskin Randy sometime soon.
It's building inside of me. It's like it's one of these days it's gonna just come out. I won't be able to control it anymore. I'll start full porting small caps, and then that'll be the beginning of the end. But I think I need to integrate slowly. So maybe I'll get some cowboy boots next week. Then get myself a nice 10-gallon hat. Then I'll start trading some of your stocks. I just can't go all at once, or it'll be all over for me. I think.
Like it. Got to go new boot scooting, buddy.
I like that. I like that. Hey, you know what? I do admire the look. I'm not sure if I'm cool enough to pull it off, but I'd be willing to take that shot. So maybe we'll go boot shopping.
I like it. Now, luckily, had my pappy, my great grandpa, I say great because I loved him. He was great, but just my grandpa. But my grandpa, Pappy, before he passed, that was years before that. He had big. He was the boot. He was a square dance caller. So you got to, oh god, he had boots. He had belt buckles out the wide, like the big old belt buckles, and so many different belts, and always wearing those, collared shirts and plaid shirts and tucked into some jeans and wearing boots. Had his cowboy hat on, and he was from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Oh yeah, but yeah. So luckily, before he passed, and it's like that whole thing when someone passes and the family goes through stuff or whatever. Luckily, before that, he gave me a pair of one of his boots, and so you're not gonna go boot shopping like you. I'm like you, maybe a little bit more of a city boy, but I like the look. Would be cool to have a pair of boots, and yeah. So it was one of those things where he gave me a pair of his boots, and to this day, still have them, and I love it. Don't wear them much, but yeah, when you wear them, it's kind of one of those like. Hey, I got my boots on. What you know? What you know about this?
Exactly. You really you turn the swag up for sure. I think that's what say, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Anybody under 20, under 30 probably cringe. I'm just excited by Google. This look at this power. Look at this power up through the high day. So Josh, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't too excited expecting this red to green here.
This is it, yeah. And it kind of like what? And hey. This Meta-esque but Meta did it a lot quicker. But this is one of those I can't. This is why I can't do earnings that often. And if you do, you're in for shares for these quick moves up, and you get your profit, and you take your profit because man, you're talking about 10, 15 points if you're in from 330 to the top side now, and to the bottom side you could have taken 20. And yeah, if you're man, I just know there's a lot of traders out there that try to do the discretionary, it's down, I know where we're going, blah 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 blah. And boy, imagine being in options right now and you're taking Friday expiration date options for that big jump and move, and oh man, you've got to be sweating bullets right now.
Yeah, and it's Heartbreak Hotel because you know what, you can be looking so good, like you're gonna make so much money up until 5 minutes before the market opens. Then they go, well, come on, we're not going to give you all that cash. We're going to hammer it right back down to
yeah.
You can take 20%. You can really take whatever we'll give you because you're in weekly options.
Yeah,
that IV crush is coming for you.
100%.
So it's a lot less stressful to just say, hey, I can just get in and out after hours here in some shares. I can leverage with the account instead of with
Yeah.
a esoteric instrument that's designed to kind of hurt me, and I can only trade it in certain hours. And
Yeah.
it's no good. If options were as easy as they advertise them, then everybody be making money.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
They're
We'd
price.
all be driving our favorite cars or what a living, whatever, yeah, well, you know what I mean. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's, yeah, it's one of those things where there's edges and you have to understand the edge and the erosion on each side of everything. So,
Mhm.
because every edge does have erosion for sure and tackle of it. Now I'm jealous of voice three generations. Well, I don't know exactly if we go 4D, but yeah, it's one of those. Hey, listen, you get. I don't know how it carries over, down the line because it's not like everyone in the family has. But I'd say yeah, it's like one of those things when you like a lot of my uncles or even my brother. Yeah, just clarity. I don't know. I'd never have said that, but Steve, people talk about my voice, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't. It's me talking, but I'll go back because I will say I hear certain voices and like that's a good voice. Like wow, that's a good. You should be on radio, like Joe. Joe, when I hear Joe talk,
Mhm.
Joe has that. Like Joe, you should host a podcast. Joe, you could be a radio host. Joe, you could do the 6 o'clock news, and I'd love to listen or find whatever the nightly ABC news. You have that like intriguing. I want to hear it. It calls my attention voice. But when people say that about my voice, I'm like me. This when I hear mine because I critique, so I'd go back and I'd listen to myself live, and I'm like, when I first started, because I did carry a lot of accents from the South,
Mhm.
like
Little
draws a little
slang.
bit, and I
Yeah.
didn't want that. I wanted to sound like you didn't know where I was from. You couldn't really quite tell, maybe.
The
Not
classic anchor voice, yeah. It's like,
yeah, and so it's one of those things where I've picked up more of listening to myself. But when I listen to myself, especially when I first started, Steve, I was like, oh, turn that off. I sound terrible. I can't listen to myself.
it's intense. Okay, so Josh, have you gotten to the point where every once in a while on your YouTube feed, you'll come up in your own algorithm and it'll
Yeah,
freak you the hell out?
yeah, yeah.
That's
On
alarming. I'm like,
Yeah, I
dude,
did
I'm
it on
trying to
TikTok.
relax.
Yeah, it happened on TikTok the other day, and I was like, "Oh, whoa."
That's unsettling. Sorry if
Yeah,
this is hard to relate to, guys, but it's a weird sensation.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
Josh, I can tell you're still you're still we have that humbleness to us where it's like it's very strange to
Yeah,
like see yourself on any kind of screen that's bigger than you know
right.
I don't know, it's very strange,
Yeah.
but we really appreciate
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys listening to us yap because that's super cool. I think that because I get the same thing. You have a voice for radio. I'm like, I always think I misheard. Like, I think they're roasting me. Like, I have a face for radio.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, no, this is a compliment.
That's my dad. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I guess I can see it though. I can definitely see it for you, Josh. You got that. Yeah, I can see the news anchor. Like you could be giving me breaking news. It's a voice I could trust.
Oh, coming in right now, Steve, we have Google. Let me just here on 5th and 3rd Avenue. Google's at 34109. Let me talk to Debbie over here. Debbie, come here. What do you think about Google over here? It's actually popping back up to 34134. Well, Josh, I'm just kidding. I'd do stuff like that as a kid, and just like
Oh god, I thought you were expecting me to be Debbie there for a second. I was like, come
no,
on,
yeah,
man,
no, yeah.
don't do this to me. I'll take
You're
the
actually,
criticism,
I
but
would
I don't
talk
think
to you.
it'll be
Yeah.
good for anybody. I love it. I love it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, options. Yeah, like I said, Ross. Yeah, Ras, you're all over. Options not easy, but fun for sure. Alberto, could you explain about your strategy to trade before earnings call? Thank you. Keep on going. So,
Yeah.
Alberto, if I trade, and you could go after, obviously, we'll break down how we trade earnings. When I've traded earnings in the past, I typically do it. Steve has talked about, and those percentage moves down or up are usually calculated in. You can figure out essentially where these plays are going to get down to. The key is, do they stay down? So I typically wait for the first set of large cap movers, mega cap movers, whatever you call them, to come through and find the trend. There's not really a trend right now that says, like I've seen in the past, where, and Steve, we talked about this before,
Yeah.
about 4 or 5 earnings in a row. I'd say it was 4 for sure. From 23 into 24, I noticed it in 23, and of course, then I traded it into 24, where if you were down for the day, like below the VWAP, like today, let's see, Google would be a great example today, although it didn't stay down. But Google stays down, it stays below the VWAP. I'm like, guys, right here for the closing bell, I'm going to go short, to anticipating that continuation on down. Now, of course, doing shares like I love to do, you could have made some mega bank there as it did go down. And that's where you'd love to be in shares because you can take profit. And that's what I did.
Mhm.
So the trend's not in though right now because we're getting a lot of this whipsaw action. I've noticed that Meta was a main one last week that let me know there is no trend. We were down, down, down. However many, 30, 40 points we saw, Steve, and then 100-point move from lows to highs over or something like that. So I don't have an edge right now. So I like when I trade any stock, of course, like any person, when you trade, you should have an edge. What is your edge? And trade that. Right now, I don't have an edge. I don't see a trend. But typically, what I my plan would be for you and for any other trader would say, hey, if you're going to trade before the closing bell, what I would advise you to do is wait to see the trend form. And if the trend is, which we saw, if it's below the VWAP, watch for continuation down. We saw that with Google, it worked. Opposite, if it's up, up, up and away, we see some continuation into the closing bell above and above the VWAP or green for the day. Watch for a pop and continuation up. And that was a trend there for 4 or 5 earnings that I traded very well. Then that trend ended, so I kind of put my brakes on trading earnings, as a lot of people do. Um, that was my edge and my sword, so to speak, of when I trade them. As I saw the trend, I got in before the closing bell, got either that continuation down, continuation up, and when I got it after the closing bell, you better believe if I see a 20, 30, 40, 20, 10.5 point move, like today, a great example is QCOM, right before the closing bell starts heading down below the VWAP. I see sell off. We are going to continue down. Let me go short, get in 100 shares or whatever it is. Boom. Next thing you know, you're down 10 points. You better believe I'm locking up 10 points, 100 shares, or most of it, maybe saving a small runner to see if we continue down. AMD's a great example. Pull up AMD if you want to, Steve, from yesterday. Down, 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 down at the bell, at the closing bell, down after the bell. And then what we do today, we dump a Rooney down. So imagine if we held some shares of AMD. Was a great example of that yesterday and through today.
I
That
can't
was my
scroll
edge.
up fast enough. Yeah, what a dump here. This was in the pre-market into just the cash session, just absolutely hammered. So if you, as you were saying, if you held some from the earnings call way down here, say you even said, "Hey, I'm waiting till we lose this low, I'm waiting till we lose the cash session low." You tag in there, you take some profit on the initial push down. You say, "Hey, I'm going to hold a runner." That one, say you took I don't know, maybe 100 shares. You hold 50 shares here, even 25 shares, can make you some serious cash when you're trading from 230 just into the open already there. That's another $12. You could take a little more off there and just hold another, maybe take 25% off there for $20 a share, and you hold the rest and you end up getting another $20 a share, $40 a share on your last quarter. That is as much profit as, the first half,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
more. So really good to just let the runners run there. Love it.
100%. That's my edge, Alberto. So yeah, what do you got? What do you, if you're trading them, what would you, how do you trade them, Steve? Even if it's after the closing bell, what are you looking for when you look at a trade here?
Yeah, so I'm a little bit of a longer term perspective on these guys. So for me, there's kind of two playbooks in my earnings repertoire, and the first is going to be the earnings run up, and so that is going to be, I think AMD is another good example of this one. So that's basically going to be a stock where I think that there is going to be in general, there's going to be bullishness, or if not, then at the very least, I think they're going to trade kind of sideways or up into the earnings there. And the idea is that I'm just going to be trying to find a spot like a week or two out where I can essentially get involved, and I like, if I'm going to be doing this earnings run up strategy, I like to play with some options. Primarily, I'll do debit spreads. So essentially, I'll be taking a position. I mean, I like. All right, let's be real. The most when I'm gambling a little bit, I like to do just calls because then you get the most appreciation on the IV ramp. The
Yeah.
idea here is that even if I trade kind of sideways, if I buy like a month or two of time more than I need, and I'm not really fighting theta, I'll see the appreciation from the IV as people kind of start to price in a bigger move as we go into the earnings there. So then you can lock in profit there into the earnings print, and if you have enough contracts, sometimes you can let one free roll there. But the way that I actually play these, yeah, I'd say like 8 times out of 10. The other two, maybe I'm doing this option stuff, but usually I'm just waiting for a name to come back down to my level, and then I'll just be getting involved long term. And then that's really the only thing I'll be doing. I'll be looking for overblown moves
Yeah.
to long term support, and then I'll be picking them up there. So, for example, Google, I might be saying, hey, I think that maybe they get punished short term, but I just want to get involved when they kind of trade through, into like the bottom of a range and show some buyers. So maybe I'd be watching this 315 area, which was kind of a couple weeks ago, basically the low of the year. And then if we come back down there and find buyers, then I'd be just basically putting a buy order in and just getting filled. And then as long as we close the hour, the daily kind of session above that level, I'd consider this a starter position on a longer term entry, or starter entry on a longer term position. So it's just kind of a chance to use the increase, the burst of volatility to get involved in positions that maybe otherwise would take quite a while to get down to your the level where you think is fair value. So
Love it.
not exactly as fun, but I think it's just a good thing to have in mind if there is a stock that's kind of dancing maybe 10% above a level that you think
Right.
you'd like to be in for the long term.
Love it. Good, good analysis. And again, dude, just like what I do a lot of my bounce plays and small caps, just patience. Wait for wait for that level to come to you versus you chasing that level.
Absolutely.
Reese, we need to do this. I would love to do it. I've kind of even goes back to, and I could do the whole tournament except for when I don't trade, but I guess it would be like talking in third person. But I'm telling you, it would be cool to have, number 1 seed Michael Katz versus number, 4 seed Florida Joe, number 2 seed Money Mitch versus number 3 seed AK-47, number 1 seed Michael Noss versus number 4 seed, whatever, number 2 seed Steve versus I don't know, whatever, right? We have seeds or whatever, and then I could that would be great. Commentate because that's what we did, and we need to post a lot. We have so much stuff from the money show. I need to go back and try to snip some stuff up or send it to the guys at Trade the Pool to post. But we did that. We had the competition there. We have 2 traders come up. They have 3 minutes apiece to trade and get as much profit as possible. And I'm sitting there going back and forth talking to them, and it's really fun. Love doing that stuff. Yeah, and then. Because what came to be was don't trade, because they were newer traders and they didn't know what they were doing. And so I'm like, hey, let's just see what that guy does. Yeah. So it was really fun to do that. Love doing it. Of course, fast paced stuff, sports. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because we're also competitive, at least to some degree or another. And like just to do this as a job, you really got to have that dog in you. So to have these kind of ways to let that out in a constructive, fun way, in the office, so to speak.
Right.
It just feels like I don't know. It's just such a fun time. It feels like kind of feels like a field trip back at school.
Yeah.
I get field trip vibes. So
I love it.
I love it.
I still get that stuff. Like even for me, like Fridays, like Thursday, like tomorrow when I stream live and done with the call-in show, and like Thursday, it's almost Friday. And then when I stream live on Friday, I'm like, oh, it's the weekend. It's the weekend. Like I'm like a little kid giddy over here, but I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. What's up, Michael? Michael in the chat. Loving some Steve. There's your boy, Michael right there. Steve.
That's my dog. That's my dog right there. Good to see you, brother. Hope you've been doing well.
Jane is the dark horse. All right. Oh, hey, yeah. It'd be fun though, right? Like, all right, we got all right, we have Steve here. He's getting into Google long at 305.50 here. He's going up for the move up. Steve, where are we going to take this to? Steve, where are we going to take this to? And then I go over and I want to take this back up to 307.50. Oh, Jane, she's shorting the SPY right now. Jane, yeah. Oh God, that would love to do that for, like I said, you got to give us more than 3 minutes a piece, maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes. But yeah, I would love that. Like say during the tournament, like the March Madness tournament for college basketball, like close to the Final Four, late March, early April, like right when it gets to the Final Four, have a, where we stream live on a Thursday or whatever day we call it. And we do that, or even on Monday, because the championship game is always on a Monday. It's the first Monday in April. So that Monday we could have the come and join the TTP March Madness bracket. That's right. We're number 1 seed, blah, 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 and then show the bracket overall. And we could promote that for a week or two. And so starting bell, because I want this, we could like, okay, I'm really good at, who wants what time frame. And like, it'd be fun to watch, like, because I want the starting, see what time frame we get, but say like opening bell, it's this person versus this person from 9:30 to 10 Eastern. From 10 Eastern to 10:30 Eastern, it's these two. From 10:30 to 11, it's these two. Or whatever. We could start it maybe even on Thursday, because we have so many, like they always do college basketball. So we have the Thursday where we do all day long, and then Monday we have like the Final Four, right? So the Final Four would be like Monday, where it's like, I don't know. We have to figure that out. But Joe, Carlo, Gil, Michael Katz, anyone listening to the earnings report, we need to do the March Madness bracket. Let's do it and let me commentate it. It will be, I'm telling you, if you don't get 10,000 views, I'll take out the trash for the rest of the year. Okay. If that stream doesn't get 10K views, I'm the trash taker out for the rest of the year.
He's the trash man. I love it. Hey, here's one earnings that we did miss. Elf. This is one that wasn't on my radar.
Yes.
So Elf, well, we might have missed them, but they didn't miss earnings. They are up quite substantially. Looks like just over 10% from the 85 handle all the way up to the 96. That is breaking the range. Prices not seen since the 23rd, but you know what? You got to make new highs to make even more new highs.
Yeah.
So we are pushing on upwards here. This is the top of the bottom of, sorry, this is the top of the range of hopefully the bottom of this range. Essentially, the gap down area, they have finally reclaimed it and pushed higher. So we are into the true gap that has not been tested. There's room for ELF to climb, to rip back up onto that 115 area. That's where I'd expect some real substantial sellers to kind of get back involved if they're going to take a shot there. But interesting to see the strong result there, and it looks like we have some room. Congratulations, Elf Bulls. I know they've been having a hard year with this gap down.
Forgot about old Elfie. Elf, of course, a great movie with starring Will Ferrell. If you haven't,
Oh, what a
seen it,
classic!
classic, yeah, certain classic. What's up, Tack? Or I should say, Tyler. How you doing, Tyler Smith?
Hey,
From
hey.
another Smith to another Smith, doing good. How about you? How about you? How about you? How about you? How about you?
Looks like we also have another small cap. I almost type move because form is moving. Form is moving, apparently. Yeah, it sure is moving. Okay, wow. So this is not even a small cap. This is, I mean,
Yeah.
$72 ticker there. Well, was 10 minutes ago. Now it's an $83 ticker and climbing. So we got some juice on there. I'm going to check out the spread because it looks like it is.
Yeah, there's no way with those candles. That spread's got to be $1 or $2 or so.
Yeah,
That's a big one.
yeah, about $1. About $1. So I'm not going to touch that. But congratulations if you're in. I don't know what the heck it's doing. So I'll really quickly give you some levels here on an hourly. This form. All right, there's your levels. Take some profits at 85 to 85.50 as it sweeps over this previous swing high there. It
Swing.
sounds like AMAT's making moves after hours too. Tyler asking how we're feeling about ARM. I was impressed by how it magneted back up to 100 initially. It looks like it's still selling off of there. Is that the case? Yeah, I think that this is relatively healthy. I'm not convinced either way though, so I'm really gonna have
Yeah,
to.
I'm right. Yeah, I'm like, I feel we suck because a lot of the time when I see this and it slowly kind of soaks back down and slowly moving back, I feel like we're going to move back down to 90.50, whether it's into pre-market tomorrow. If I was at Vegas and we're having fun and like, all right, $50 prop bets, I'm like, all right, got to take one on ARM. Okay, if I had to take one, I'm going to put a bet on it goes down and soaks back to 90.50, but I'm not sold on it. It could easily get back to 100. It pushes through 100 like Steve was saying earlier, and then it's right back to where minimum to where the lows are from the day at 102, 103s, if not going back to the close at 104 plus. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
No,
right
I
there.
like that, and I like that you're framing it like that too, because I feel like the more time you spend doing this as a job, the more you realize a lot of times there's just no trade. It's
Yeah.
like I do this all day, every day. This is my job. I see like a 55%, like potentiality here. Like there's like maybe 5% edge, which really means like, do I want to gamble? Probably not. So usually the best play is no play unless you really have a defined edge, and
Yep.
that should be jumping out at you to some degree or another. Like it should be a trade should be saying, "Hey, take me, come on, take me." You want to take me.
Yo, today my trade it was a small cap play that halted up. I caught I'm talking about my halt strategy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very scary and risky. A play that's halted up, and then you want to go trade a halt in play, which of course we know we have in these meetings. Which I'm going to get back to our meeting CTP in a minute. When Michael's, Cass was like, "Oh, we're gonna, you can trade halts." And I'm like, "What? We can? There's no like 30. We don't have to wait." Because I
Get it,
traded
get
today.
it,
It was a play that was shot up, halted up around 180. Gapped up to 215.20, shot to 240, and came flying, screeching back down to that halt up area at 180. And I'm like, get in, guys. And I didn't have order set because I couldn't, so I just had to market order. I'm like, forget it, it's close enough. And I feel like 193, 195.
What
And I
what
didn't
ticker is this so I can pull it up?
It is ELPW.
BLPW.
E as in elf, so
Ah,
ELPW, so
got
ELPW. Yeah. And yeah, if you want
you.
to, especially you have to see that probably in the 1 minute time frame to really zoom into that opening bell. But this was the one that went crazy on Friday of last week. ELPW did. So yeah, ELPW.
Wow. Is this the move that you were talking about right here, or was this the one on Friday?
This was the Friday. This is actually I traded this today, but I also traded it on Friday.
Okay, I'll pull that up.
So you can see there the opening bell right there. Is that the opening bell? Where's the
I
opening
think
bell?
so. I wanted to. Oh, what is this? The move to 780. This thing is insane. Maybe I do need to pull back further just to even get my bearings. What in tarnation are you showing me here, Josh? What?
Oh
Okay, I guess
man,
that's the move that you wanted to show me. All right. That is the 30th.
that crazy move.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Now we're talking.
Look at that thing.
That's another piece of art there, modern
Yeah,
art.
yeah. But I traded that with no hesitation. But some people would look at that and go, "But you traded that?" I'm like, you when you have that, like you were saying, you're like it's like trade, go trade it, right?
Yeah.
I traded it, it's just there. So that's like you're saying, it's got to be screaming at you. Is my point? Like you're 100% talking about, it will scream at you. Now that some people are like, "Wow, I can't believe you traded that. That screams nothing at me." Well, I've
I'm
traded
screaming
these.
at it. I'm like, what,
Yeah,
what are we even
yeah,
looking
right. But back in
at? You
2020,
knew.
we saw these in 2020 so often in 2021 that I know how to trade them when they get that momentum in certain areas and you break through certain thresholds, it just continues to fly and halt up. So
Wow.
that's one of those ones I traded, multiple times, and you go, "What?" It was yelling at me, 100%
Yeah.
yelling at me. So back to those meetings though that I talked about. And now, Michael Katz said, "Thank you. We can trade halts." Michael Katz, next meeting, Steve. We're going to bring it up. Steve, we're going to talk about it. Florida Joe liked the idea. Florida Joe says, "Hell yeah, I love that idea." We're doing it. The March Madness bracket. Maybe it is in April. Maybe it's in March. I'm telling you right now, seed us up, Florida Joe. We're bringing this up the next meeting. Well, I guess we have next week off, but it's the following week we get. No, we have a meeting tomorrow, don't we? Do we have a meeting tomorrow? Is there one tomorrow?
Is it the early one?
I think it is.
Um,
I think it's the early one.
is it every other week or is I don't know.
No, it was next week. Yeah, we're off this week, so we didn't
Yeah.
have one Monday. It was last week. It was last week. So Monday morning, or no, Monday morning, whatever time it is for other people. But yes, the Monday meeting, Florida Joe, Steve. This is getting brought up to Cats. We're doing. I'm like, "Hey guys, we got to do it. We got to do the tournament.
Solidarity. I got your back, brother. We're gonna
Let's
we're
do
gonna
it.
do our
Let's
best to
do
make
it."
it happen there.
Kevin Avery's in chat too, by the way. So Kevin, what's up, brother? How we doing? Kevin, you ready for the tournament? You like the idea? Did you hear about the tournament? Kevin, my spiel, what we're gonna do, and Kevin, you're gonna bring it up too. We're all gonna hammer with it Monday. All right, Kevin, seed us up just like March Madness. Michael Katz 1 seed versus 4. Let's seed us up, and whoever Michael Katz can do the seeding. Or maybe it's Florida Joe, because as we know, he's Nick Fury. He's the one with the patch. He's the one running things. Me and Steve already had that conversation too.
Love it. Real quick here before we run out of time, we got a few minutes left, and I just wanted to touch base on Amazon. Tyler here asking, what's the deal? What's the deal with Amazon? Yeah, this is a really interesting one. This is the weekly chart here. We did post a couple top wicks, but what I'm really noticing is just this tight consolidation, this pattern getting tighter after a really nice attempted breakout, and then just hope crushing move here, trying to break out of this range, just hammered back down. We've been digesting ever since, but it seems like we're getting ready to push on up and out. I think that's what we're trying to see here. So I want to watch at these key moving averages. We're coming on down to the weekly 21 here. That's going to be at 231. So I'm looking at that as kind of the pivot that I'd like to see Reclaim to get involved in. We can go to a daily as well and just see that this thing is setting up for a bigger move. So once trying to push up, twice, 3 times, coming back down, giving me that look that it might be flushing out into an earnings that could potentially send this thing on and upwards. That being said, this upward trend line going to be the area of focus if we do see initial sell pressure like we have seen on a lot of these earnings. So this area down here into the 225 kind of area might undercut and reclaim. So I want to see again where it's going to find these long-term buyers, whether it can hold this previous swing low here at the 226. But if it does run that, I want to see a reclaim to get involved here. I am just kind of leaning bullish here, but I'm open to being wrong. So again, it's one of those situations where maybe I have a 55, 60% quote unquote edge. For me, that's not enough to play it, but I will be playing what happens after. So if this breaks down, then maybe I will wait for a little bit of a bounce. Say this thing breaks down, loses the 225 on a reclaim, it's very weak. On maybe 230, I might be looking to short that for a push down. But in general, I'd rather be looking for strength on a reclaim to actually get involved long. I think that this is one of the more appealing mega cap names. You have any feelings on Amazon compared to some of the others that we've seen this week?
Yeah, it's gonna skyrocket to the moon.
Oh man, all right, I like that. I should
I'm
have just said that.
yeah, I'm still in it long from 2022, and I was yelling at everyone from the rooftops because it was I'm telling everyone in 2022 into that all through that year to the first of 23 to get into NVDA, Tesla, Apple, and Amazon. But the other tech companies I was just a little sketched out about and volatility. So I picked Amazon. Of course, ends up being the slow and steady mover, but still nice. Regardless, I will go with levels. I'm always a big levels guy, and I see that tight wedge we're getting into. Last couple of earnings, let's not forget, we've had 20 to 30 point moves, some pretty big moves for Amazon for earnings. My levels that I'm seeing in at the top of that downtrend line, or at least the most recent resistance, is right around 247 to 248 area. If we break that, we will see 260 all-time high. Mark it in your books. If we crack below, I'm going to call 225. Watch for a minimum move down to 220 to 215. And like Steve's saying, we could see all the way back down to the 210s or lower. And that's where I know Steve and other traders would love to start adding in back down into a trend area. And that's what Steve said he's going to trade the second portion of this. Let the move happen. Trade the aftermath.
Exactly. Well said, man. Well said. I love this. So, there's many ways to skin a cat. We have a bit different of trading styles at certain ways, but it seems like we often come to the same conclusions, or at least roughly. And so that's really, I think that's really where it's at. And that's why I love having so many different opinions here coming together. So good stuff. Thank you so much for joining here for the earnings. It's always a blast to have you on. Man, I've been enjoying my time here looking at Google. Let's recap real quick. Google just powerhouse here after hours, really reclaim that push down with style, starting to flag here at the previous high. A little bit of cash take or profit taken here into the hourly flip. We can expect the earnings call to start soon, so maybe a little more volatility coming in, but I am expecting this to continue to move on upwards and eventually digest through this 350 as if all goes according to plan here. Any last words here before we wrap it up?
No, you're all over it. Real quickly to just comments, Tyler Smith. Yeah, I'm sick of NVDA because I do morning alerts, and like every day I'm like, yeah, leave NVDA. It's like leave it alone. Don't day. It's just so ugly. There are some good day, but yeah, it's just like get out of that channel. Back to TACAS. How do I size in? Usually, generally, if you're asking on earnings, I find an area that I like right before that closing bell and start adding into that trade, just slowly but surely, 5-10 shares at a time to get to the price that I like the most. And just be happy with it. Of course, if you're talking day trades, there's many ways to skin a cat there. But yeah, for earnings, like I said, when I play that edge into the closing bell, generally I'm just sizing in slowly but surely, trying to get that a good entry price where I feel like I'm not, all in at one area. I kind of find an area. I mean, I've even traded NVDA back in the day when NVDA was at 660s. I'll never forget. And I got in around 663, 666, 664. Blah, 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 blah. It's going to fly. It's going to spike up today. And it went to like 700 plus, but I'm just slowly averaging in because in the end, I know if I'm going to get let's just say even like Amazon, Google, a 20, 30 point move, AMD, I ain't worried about $1, $2, $3. I mean, I can't be that trader that has to be super precise about this has to be the entry right here. It's like, let me just get in somewhere in this area because I feel I'm going to this area. And then this is my, just like any trade. Yeah. And so I'm never going to be, I have to have this entry price. I know I'm going to be around about average area because I know I'm going to get multiple points regardless. So they're just to answer that question. Yeah. Back to you. Ditto. Love doing these with you. And like me and Kevin, same thing, where I could be going long, he's going short, whatever it is. We're going different thought processes, but we always arrive at the same conclusion. So you guys have fun tomorrow with Amazon. I'll chime in a little bit tomorrow when I get done with my work as well, like I did last Thursday. And these are great. These are fun. I'm glad we're doing these. And I love doing these with you, my man. Florida Joe, but we got Cali Steve, baby.
There we go. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Thank you so much, Josh. Here we are going to be back at it tomorrow, or at least I will be for Amazon. So don't miss that one. That one's going to be a barn burner. A lot of market implications. We're going to talk about what we saw in the market tomorrow as well as we digest today's earnings as well. So be sure to tune in for Power Hour tomorrow, as well as the what are we calling these? The earnings stream, I guess.
Yeah.
Before that, of course, we have the great morning stream with Money Mitch and Michael Noss. So don't miss that either. We got great programming for you all day long. We're going to wrap it up here, but we'll be back at it early tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you on the flip side. Take care, Josh, and take care, everybody at home.
See you, guys.